Hi, everyone, and welcome to my new show called How to Nowhere. Well, I've got a special guest on my show today. Her name is Mara Cartagenova. Mara is a psychic medium, animal communicator, and best-selling author with clients from all over the globe. Can we please welcome Mara to the show? Hello there.
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Awesome. Well,
Loud and
thank you
clear from
so
the
much.
UK.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
there's loads of people
Technology.
in the chat room. There's Alison, Sam, Diane, Rebecca, Mary.
Wow.
Yeah, if you just go up to on your right hand side, you'll see chat room comments.
Yeah, I
Click on
do
the
see
comments.
them. Yep, I do see the chats. I'm not able to join because I guess I have to connect something and
No,
yeah.
no, but they'll ask questions in there.
Okay, great.
How did it start for you then, being a psychic medium all them years ago?
Yeah, it's been an interesting ride. I guess, when you're little and you have these type of gifts, like you feel, at least for me, I felt like that was just what everybody had, it felt normal to me. So I didn't feel like there was anything weird or different about me. But I guess as I got a little older, I realized that, not everybody is sort of wired this way and that some people would perceive me as being a little strange, but I am just really an ordinary person, and I've been very grateful to be able to use my gifts to help people over the years.
Yeah, when you were young, when you were at school, um, was your friends think you were strange then?
Well, I guess if they were my friends, they probably didn't think I was strange, but I think people that didn't really understand, because when you're like a very sensitive child or you're an empath, there's a lot of energy and emotions that you feel that other people don't. And so I might go into a situation and feel very stressed or sort of feel all the, negative energy that might be there and it would upset me. But somebody that's not as sensitive wouldn't feel the same thing. And so, the people that were my friends, I think, understood me and sort of understood where I was coming from. But the people that didn't really know me, I think they probably thought that I was strange because, I would talk to the trees and I would talk to the animals. And so, that's probably not regular type of activity. So yeah, I would definitely say I was more unusual, but the whole thing of being a psychic medium or animal communicators is really starting out with being an empath and being able to feel the feelings of other people and feel the room and feel what's going on. And so by sort of being that type of person, I was very sensitive to everything. And, like John Holland, the famous medium, says, the price of sensitivity is sensitivity. So that sensitivity sometimes is very helpful, but it can also be a double-edged sword because you're just so sensitive to everything. So that's how it really was for me when I was growing up.
Yeah, you know, how did you develop your gift then, going
Well,
through
I
all
would
them
think,
years?
yeah, and I can't remember the last time I was on, Bob. Do you remember? Was it like 6 months ago, a year ago? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was about a year ago, I think.
Yeah, it's been a while. So I know we talked a
Yeah,
little bit about this. I mean, like I said, for me, this was always normal. I was always, I was seeing angels in spirit. That's one of my earliest memories. I must have been 4 or 5 years old. So for me, that was like a totally normal thing. And then when I got older and as a teenager, you want to try to fit in and you don't want anyone to think you're weird. And so I think I sort of put the gifts away. I mean, I still had my tarot cards and my astrology and all that stuff that I always did, but I kind of kept it more to myself. And then as I got older, I was just leading a normal life. I got married and had kids. I'm a clinical social worker, and so I worked helping people in therapy that way. And then just as I was getting older, I just kept getting more signs from spirit saying like, you need to be doing this. And I was like, yeah, sure. What are you talking about? I need to be like, I should be doing this, because I just thought that was crazy. And I actually saw a medium from the UK that came to the States. I don't remember his name, but and we had a reading, and he was saying, well, you're supposed to be doing this, like this work. And I was like, no, like you're crazy. That's like
Yeah, you're
not what I'm
crazy.
supposed to be doing. And so, over time, and then my grandmother passed away and my aunt passed away, and they kind of came to me and were, in spirit, and were saying like, you need to be doing this work. And I guess you could say I'm a little stubborn. And so I was getting all these messages, but I wasn't quite, really signing up for it. And then one day I took a trip to Florida with my daughter, and we were at the Orlando airport. And I've told this story a million times. And I had to go to the bathroom. So I went into one of the stalls, and the airport bathrooms are gigantic with like 10,000 stalls. And so I went into one of them, and the one I walked into just happened to have a tarot card that all it said on it was trust. So I picked up the card, I looked up at the sky, the ceiling, and I was like, okay, I get it. So for me, that was kind of the ultimate message of saying, you need to be doing something, you need to be connecting with the spirit world and helping people in that way. And so that's sort of my story.
Does it run in the family then?
I would say so, yeah. I would think my grandmother definitely, and maybe some of my aunts, because my grandmother would just say things. She would just have a knowingness, and a knowingness of like, oh, this person's pregnant, and we'd be like, what are you talking about, Nana? Like she's not. Like I just talked to her, and then the lady would find out later that she was pregnant, but my
Yeah.
Nana knew before she did. So things like that, just sort of having that knowingness. But I would say, yeah, definitely. I do believe it runs in families, and a couple of my kids are very psychic and connected. I can just tell a quick story if you allow me. We
That's
were
okay. Yeah.
traveling. We were in Europe, and we were with my little son. He was maybe like 8 at the time. And we were driving around, and we have to stop for gas. And this is, I can't remember which country, and somewhere in Europe. And my little son was like, Mom, I have to get the lottery ticket. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like we don't really play the lottery or the scratchers. It's not like a thing we do. But we were
No.
at the gas station,
Euro.
and he was like, Mom, I have to go, I have to get it. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever. So he walked in, and he picked out the ticket, and wouldn't you know, he won like, 50 euro or whatever it was, but he picked
Ah,
the
yes.
winning ticket because he just had a feeling that he's like, Mom, I have to do this. And so yeah, they're connected as well. And that's really, it's a nice blessing.
Are you religious then?
I wouldn't say I'm religious. I mean, I don't really follow any particular religion. For me, I just really more believe in like source energy, and whatever some people call that God, some people call it source, light, up above, whatever. So for me, it's all the same, whether you're Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, whatever, it doesn't matter,
Ro-
because I just personally believe that it's really all about love and all about the source energy, and I'm really connected to that. So I'm not like connected to any particular religion, but I do believe you know in working obviously with the higher power, or whatever people like to refer to it as.
I know before the show, I wrote on my Facebook page about people if they've got any animals or any photos to send Mara. I don't know if they I know somebody might have sent some to you.
Yeah, I don't know. Where would they have sent them? I did get the one photo that
Messenger,
the Messenger. Okay, yeah, I got the one photo that you sent me.
right,
But I don't
of a
see,
dog.
yeah, of the dog, and I'm looking to see if anybody else
Anybody
sent
else?
one.
Well, I'll just say I know there's quite a few of them in chat room. If anybody in the chat room uh,
Oh,
wants to
okay, I'm
read
looking.
for
Yeah.
any animals what's passed away, or what are your animals want a reading from, just click on and try and send it us through the chat
Yeah.
room or whatever, what's convenient.
Yeah, however they wanna send it. I did see it because I have a couple accounts on Facebook, so I went to my other account and there are a few pictures. I also do readings on
Yeah,
people and intuitive readings as well. I mean, I know everybody loves the animal readings because I think a lot less people do that,
yeah.
but
There's
I
Anna
but I
Kingston in the chat room said, "I have sent one on Messenger. My last name is Baker."
okay. Yeah, well, I have one from a Steph Jeans that I see,
Oh yes, Steph, she's in the chat room.
and a Daisy sent me a kitty, and
Yeah,
Anna.
Steph just said, "I've sent one over in Messenger." Rebecca sent one. I've already sent one on Messenger too. Rebecca King.
Okay, I'm
Go
just
through with the
checking.
ones what you find first.
All right, that sounds good. I'm just checking to see if my other account has any of the photos. So let's see.
Anybody's
Hold
got
on.
any questions in the chat room, you know, you can send us a question as well.
Okay, so why don't I do it says Daisy Wren, but it says Rebecca King. Is she here?
Rebecca
Okay.
King, yes, she is. Yeah, she's in the chat room.
All right. So you said this is the picture of your cat Apollo. I don't know if anyone can see that.
Oh yeah, that's a nice one, isn't it?
Cute. Yeah, very
Yes.
cute. So my question for Apollo is he living or past? And did you have a particular question, Rebecca, about him, or you just want me to connect to him? I don't know if she can, if she's on, if she can
She's
hear
on
me.
there. She's down the bottom. She said, "I already sent one on Messenger too." And she said, "Rebecca King, I'm under Daisy."
Under
So
Daisy. Okay.
yeah, um, just see what you can get on Daisy.
Okay. I was just curious if the kitty was living or past or if she had a
I'm sure
particular
she'll get back
question.
to us.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because as I connect to Apollo, he has quite the little personality.
Living,
He's living. Okay.
yes.
Thank you. And if you have a specific question about him, Rebecca, just let me know if there's something you're looking for. As I'm sort of connecting to him, it's like I almost get like a dual personality with him. There's like a real depth, almost kind of like a Buddha with him, like very deep and connected. But then it's almost like I feel like a silliness sometimes with him, or like a little confusion. Like he'll do things and you'll be like, why are you doing that? What is going on with that? So, because there is like a duality that I'm picking up about him. And it's almost like, and I know this is weird and people say this sometimes, but he's very much more like a person than he is like a cat. Because he keeps talking to me about, liking human food and wanting to do the things that the human does. And so he's really more connected as like, for me, souls are souls. And this is just this current body is like the thing that the outfit we're wearing this time around. And so for me, you could either be a human or an animal. And so when I come into Apollo's energy, I feel very much almost like a human type of energy with him, not so much a cat. And he's also talking to me about looking to you towards um like for guidance or like reassurance. There's some piece about that with him. And I'm not sure, this is Rebecca, even though it's under Daisy, if she wants
Yeah,
to, give me some feedback on that as well. But I do feel in general that he's like a happy kitty, but he's a little insecure as well. Because I just feel like there's this energy of like trying to get reassurance, like, was that okay? Like, are you mad about that? Or so I feel like a little bit of anxiety and uncertainty in him. And so he could just use a little bit of confidence builder. So if you find him doing something right or like using the litter box correctly, and I'm not sure if there is an issue about that. They just started talking about the litter box, but if you find him doing something correct, then you want to say, oh, you did such a great job, Apollo. I'm so proud of you. Because he really needs to be built up. There's
yeah.
this like, I don't know, like, am I okay? And like, do you like me? And there's also a piece about rehoming. I don't know if he had a couple other homes, but they're showing me different places as well that he would have lived. But so just try to sort of, pet him obviously and stroke him emotionally and psychologically because he sort of needs that little bit of a boost. And I think he'll do a little bit better. So I hope that was helpful.
I'm sure it will do. Um,
Yeah. So
One
what?
for Estella. I think she sent a black dog, I think.
Oh yeah, that's a different. Let me go back to that. I think right. Now is that dog what's the name of the doggy if you can tell me, and is the dog living or past?
I think
That would
dog's
be helpful.
passed.
Past, okay. Yeah, for some reason, I don't know if my okay, I'm seeing the feedback here. All right.
Amazing. Thank
So
you so far. He's a bit sad now. He was a stray.
yeah, because I
That
saw him, right, that was for Apollo. I saw him, like, moving different places. He just needs, like, emotional support, really being there for him and working with him and making him feel like he's a good boy, because he doesn't feel that great about himself, so Rebecca, you can work on that, and I think he'll be okay. Um, but I have here is I don't know the name of this doggy, and you see the reflection there.
yeah,
This
oh,
is
yes, I know what you mean. Yes. I
yeah,
can't
so that's you said Estella's dog?
yeah, Stella's dog.
Okay. Well, I don't know any information about whether he's living or passed, but it's interesting as
I think
I
he's passed.
he's passed. Okay, yeah, because the chat, I don't know if it doesn't seem to be moving up, so I don't see any information about him.
No.
Um, but when I come to him, it's like there's also a real like it's interesting because when I do readings, a lot of times a lot of the same characteristics will kind of group themselves together. And I'm sure Bob, you felt this when you do like a day of readings, you get like a lot of the
Yeah.
same. Like, oh, I just had three people that did the same thing or something similar. And so when I come into the energy of this little doggy, it's like I do feel like a little bit of like I don't know, like, I'm not sure, and I can see obviously in the picture that the dog is a puppy, but the energy I'm getting is just like, "Oh, I'm not am I okay?" Like, there's some piece about this dog as well being like the runt of the litter, or maybe I don't wanna say the least popular of the litter, but some piece about that not feeling like the dog itself fits in, like, to his litter, and so I feel like when he came to you that he would have had those issues of like, "Do I fit in? Am I part of the group?" kind of? 'Cause that's sort of the energy that I'm getting with this dog. And there's also a piece about chewing, 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 chewing. So I don't know if there is some oral fixation or this dog would like chew up your stuff all the time. And I don't know, is Estella on the call? Because I didn't see the
No,
name
but
on
I remember her talking about it. Yeah, it used to chew a lot of different things
there. Oh,
to
so
make
you
itself
know
sick.
her then. Okay, so
Yeah.
you know her. Okay, so then she can watch this later or you can pass it along. Yeah, there's a piece about the chewing, and the chewing is like it's not some dogs do it because it's like fun or to pass the time. He was doing it because he was anxious. So it was like, and I almost feel like there's a piece about possibly being taken away from the mom too early because there's that oral fixation that he had. Um, and it's interesting. He's talking to me about still very much being around her. For everybody, you probably know this if you have pets, but our pets and our loved ones who have passed are still very much around us. They, are with us in spirit. They do visit us and leave us messages. And this doggy was talking to me about something sparkly. I don't know if you have like a chime or little crystals in your house that hang with refractions, but he's
Yes.
talking to me about leaving messages through that. So, I mean, obviously, if it's just a sunny day and there's some reflection through the crystals, no, I'm not talking about that, but like maybe at night or there's like a little glow to them, or even one of them might fall off. They just made me aware. Um, that's him sort of coming through and saying, "Mom, I'm here, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm very much around you and still supporting you." And then there's also a piece about licking the face. Obviously, the dog would have done this when the dog was here, but even now, there's some piece about feeling either, and they're bringing me to my right side, so pressure on the right side, or almost like a warmth or feeling of being like sort of something covering a little bit of the right side of your face, because that's your doggy coming in and giving you like a big lick. So he's very
Yeah.
much around you and being supportive and connecting with you, and just sort of be on the lookout for those signs, because like everybody probably knows, our animals are around us and they're always trying to reach us. And it's nice to sort of have that comfort, you know?
Yeah, well, she deals with crystals as well in her house, so I do
Oh,
know
okay.
that.
Perfect. Yeah, because they just sort of brought crystals into my awareness, and it feels like some type of reflection, or it almost feels like some people have those like crystals that hang, and almost like a wind chime or some type of thing that the sun reflects off of. And so there's some piece about that, and that's what the dog was talking about, coming through that message. And there, he's also talking about, and he's still going because he has almost like a, some people that are very nervous and they talk a lot, you know,
Yeah,
like "Ah." So he has that kind of energy, and so he's still talking to me, even though I was trying to move on to somebody else. You're very funny. About feathers, some piece about feathers. Now, you know, I always tell people, if you go to the beach and there's a million seagulls, no, that does not count. But about finding feathers, like specifically, he's talking about, I don't know if you still have his dog bed, so around some of his things, you might find feathers, but also in an unusual place, like in the car, or like, you know, in your closet where, you know, you haven't moved anything for a while. Something about that. He's also talking to me about feathers, sort of as a reminder that he's around. But he just sort of made me aware of a dog bed. So I don't know if you still have his items or where the dog bed used to be, but sort of be aware and look out for those type of things, because he, you know, they want to communicate with us and they want to let us know that they're fine, which they are all fine. Anybody that goes to the other side, you know, they're not with the body anymore, and they're not dealing with all the aches and pains and the the issues of sort of being here on this side. You know, on the other side, it's really just about love. So know that they're fine. Your loved ones, your pets are fine on the other side, and they are always trying to connect with you.
they are, yeah.
Yeah,
We'll just break from that. And Alison Buttles here, she said, I haven't sent a photo, but I've had a crap year last year. If you could give me something positive, I would be grateful. Thank you. Alison,
sure.
see in the
Okay.
chat room near the bottom
Oh, yeah,
end.
yeah, yeah. Okay, because I was trying to move it up and it wasn't moving. Sure, absolutely. You know, for you, Allison, I have some cards. And I just sometimes like to pull some cards just to sort of see, you know, for my intuitive readings. It's not like I tell, you know, I've used this deck specifically. If you can see, it's the
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
Psychic
He's got one,
Tarot,
yeah.
John Holland. He's great. He actually lives in my area, and he's a wonderful medium. But I literally have two decks that I use. I know some people have like 30, 40 different decks,
Oh,
but
got to do.
I just have two. I'm like, that's enough. These work for me. So and what I like to tell people is that the decks aren't magical. You know, like none of these tools are like imbued with powers. It's really more it gives our conscious mind something to chew on while we're connecting. So, you know, anyone can use these type of cards. You just sort of have to be in that intuitive space to sort of understand and to sort of know where to go with whatever you're getting. So let me just pick a couple cards for you. Okay. Rest and rejuvenate. If you can see that,
Oh,
Allison. So
yeah.
that feels
See
really
that
right to
card.
me. Let me do that. Let me do a couple more. Emotional withdrawal. That sounds about right. With
Oh,
number 8, which
that's
is
about
for
right.
finances. Yeah. Let me do one more. Choose wisely. And that is number
Yeah.
7. All right. But they all have
Right.
sort of, you see these cards, they all sort of have the same feeling. They're all like in the same family. The way he divides his deck, some are like emotional, mental. I don't remember which color means which, but I have the feeling. So when I sort of connect to you into these images, um, as you said, you had a terrible year. So for me, this really feels to me like you need to sort of not withdraw from the world, but you need to spend a little bit of time on yourself, because it just feels to me when I connect to your energy that like you were here and you tried this and you did that and did that. And it just feels like a lot of chaos. So, what I would recommend, and what I'm hearing from spirit and from the cards as well, is to really spend a little time sort of getting to know yourself a little better, because I almost feel like there's a piece that where you sort of lost yourself. I don't know if you were trying to do things to make other people happy and like, oh, I got to take care of this and I've got to be this certain way to make this other person happy, even though it doesn't really make me happy. That's sort of the feeling that I'm getting here. Um, and the cards are just more of a confirmation of really pulling back, spending time with yourself, and really getting back to your center. Now, you don't have to sit and meditate like a monk for 2 hours. I mean, it could be, earthing, touching some grass. I don't know where you live, or even just getting outside, breathing the fresh air, doing a little walking, listening to relaxing music. There's also a piece about health, really taking care of your health. I don't know if I know it's January, everyone's on their new diets and whatever, but I'm not even talking about that, just about taking care of your health. It feels like there's a bunch of things that you haven't really been taking care of because you've been so outside focused. So it's time to pull back, focus on yourself, focus on sort of getting your health into a better place and feeling better about yourself. And then I feel like when you're more centered, it feels like, maybe April through June. I know that feels like a long time, but it just feels like this is a good time to sort of center, come back to self. And then when you've sort of gotten into a better place, feeling better about yourself, then when you move into the next stage of your life, I do feel prosperous, because I'm looking at 8 now. I'm not the expert numerologist, but 8 is all about prosperity and finances. So I do feel like finances will increase as well. But you have to get through, and again, I don't know where you are. It's winter, as you can see by the snow outside my window
Yeah.
here. Get through sort of this winter time, and again, work on yourself, focus on yourself, push aside any concerns from people that are pulling you, because I feel very much that you're being pulled from outside to help people that you don't necessarily want to help. So help yourself first, work on yourself, know that, I'm feeling May, June, things are going to be a lot better, and just settle back and try to do the work as much as you can. And I feel like things will be better for you. I hope that helps.
I'm sure it will do. I'm sure Alison will get back in touch.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah, she said thank you and yep. So happy to
yeah,
help.
Anna Kingston, I think Anna Baker as well. I think she sent you a photo profile page.
Yeah, let me look here. Nope, that's not her here. I'm looking here.
It's all right.
Anna, you said Anna Kingston? Did you send it on my actual page, or did you
She
send it on
said it's
Messenger?
on your official Facebook profile page with a blue tick on it, Mari.
Yeah. I don't I don't have anything in this chat. Yeah, no, the one with the blue tick, that's the chat that I'm looking at, and I don't see anything. I only have a Steph Jeans and the Daisy Wren, which is the one that I just did. So maybe it didn't go through. I'm not sure.
Have you got a
Oh, hold
Steph?
on. I'm looking in my spam. I didn't even know there was a spam on the Facebook Messenger. Now I know.
Yeah,
Look, we
the
learn
yeah,
something new every day. Oh, sweet. Okay. His name is Baker.
yeah, that's it.
Okay, Baker. All right. Picture Alfie. Oh,
Oh, how nice.
yeah,
Yeah, lovely.
Alfie. Now, is
Alfie.
Alfie still with us? That would be helpful. I do feel like he is, but let me know for one way or the other. And if you have any particular questions, Anna, let me know. But I can just start connecting. He's very sweet. It's interesting. When I connect to him, he has this like, I feel like he can be like, yeah, like, do you have a problem with me? Like, I feel like he can have a little bit of an attitude sometimes, because that's sort of how he's coming across to me. But he is very sweet, sort of on the inside. It's almost like he's like a prickly pear. If you ever had one of those, it's like juicy and sweet on the inside, but a little prickly on the outside. Um, so as I'm sort of connecting, thank you, Anna, for that. I appreciate that, letting me know. But
She
his
just passed some
energy
years
is
ago.
very much alive. It's funny because sometimes when our animals pass, sometimes their energy feels a little bit lighter, but he's a very strong personality, so his energy is still coming very strong to me. But I do get that kind of like prickly pear type of vibe from him, as I'm connecting to him as well. And there's some piece that I don't know if you had some type of um, ritual where you would give him a treat, like he would have to do something, and not like he would sit or anything. Obviously, he's not a dog, but there's some piece about he's talking to me about treats that he loves his food. He's letting me know that's number one, but he could also be very picky about it. It's like I will eat a lot of this, but those things, no, I'm not so much about that. But there's a piece about the treats he keeps talking to me about. So it feels like there's some type of ritual or some type you would do it before bed or some type of thing he's making mention of. And he really enjoyed that, he's telling me. He's also talking to me about the Christmas tree. And I know you said that he passed some time ago, but I don't know if you had something special for him for Christmas or would he climb the tree? Because he just made me aware of the tree and I feel like he was in it, either climbing up it or going in and gnawing on it. There's some piece about him and the tree that like he was not get into trouble, but you would have
Right.
to watch him. I think you told me what his name was. Sorry, I'll go back here. Alfie, yes, Alfie. You would have to watch Alfie with the tree because there was some issue about that, because he could get himself into trouble. And he's also talking to me about I don't know if there was some, and I don't know if this connects with his crossing, if there was some issue with his throat and the swallowing, because he's sort of making me aware of that. He loved his treats, and the little bugger would attack the tree. Thank you, because he's showing me the tree, and he's just going crazy with the tree. So, which is very funny. But yeah, he's just sort of made me aware of his throat. I don't know if he swallowed something or he had difficulty swallowing. There's some piece about that he's making me aware of. I don't know if you can validate that or not, but he's just talking to me about that. And I do feel like that he had some type of illness. It feels like a long progressing type of illness. I don't know if it's like a kidney disease issue or thyroid piece. It just feels like something that's kind of long and going on for a while, and then eventually that he succumbed. But he's also talking about his stomach or digestive system. I don't know if there was like a tumor or some type of blockage, but he's making me aware of his tummy and that there was like some tummy troubles going on towards the end. But he's saying he doesn't want you to remember him that way. Oh, okay. He ate some poison. All right. Well, that makes sense. That's why he's talking to me about his stomach because he's like, I don't feel very well and something
Oh,
gross in my stomach. Yeah, I'm sorry, Alfie. He's so sweet, though. I mean, I love all the animals, but some of them, he has such amazing energy. I'm sure I don't have to tell you that, Anna. There's just something about him that's just there's a real depth to him, but also a little bit of a snarky attitude as well that, sort of probably made him even more lovable because I have a cat like that. He's just, he'll come up and knock the glass off the table, like right in front of me, and he'll look at you like, and why is that my problem? So that's kind of the attitude that I'm getting from Alfie. Um, so yeah, so I do feel again with the stomach and the poison makes perfect sense. It just feels like, he had those other issues as well, sort of long term, the kidneys or the thyroid, because I just see like a long term type of issue. But he very much loved you, even though he's saying you may not have known it, because I feel like sometimes he could have been kind of like whether swatting at you or, not super, like he'd be snuggly sometimes, but on his terms. But just know he is very much around you. He's also one of your protectors. I'm not sure if you're aware of that, like energetically. So even though he sort of has this big personality and this attitude, he still very much wants to take care of you and protect you. So he is still around you. There's some piece almost about, I don't know if you currently have other animals now, about him walking the perimeter of the house or like the living room. And so if you have other animals and they're sort of looking like this, like what is moving, that's Alfie, because she's telling me that he's patrolling your space to make sure that everything's okay and that the energy is all right. And he also just made me aware of the lights flickering. Some piece now, if you're having a thunderstorm, no, but out of the blue, all of a sudden the lights kind of start
yeah.
turning on and off. That is Alfie, and he just wants you to know that he's coming in and that he does have that protection and that perimeter that he's putting around you, and he just wants to make sure that you're okay. So I hope that was helpful.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
he's very
is.
sweet. Yeah, I love him.
Yeah. I'll just send.
Yeah.
Um, let's have a look. Is anybody else in the chat room would like a reading? If so, can you just leave us a message, please.
Yeah, absolutely. We because I think it did end up in my spam, which I didn't even know there was. So, um, there is one more picture. Hold on.
Right?
Oh, this is very cute. This is from Steph Jeans, and I don't know if
Oh,
she's
yes,
still
Stephanie.
there.
She's in the chat room.
Okay. This is a picture of her dog. Look at this picture.
Oh, nice.
Very cute. So,
Very
Steph, yeah.
cute.
What is the name of your little friend? Oh, her name was Ruby. She
Ruby.
passed. Ruby. Oh, very sweet. Well, thank you for
What a
sharing
lovely
Ruby with
name.
me. Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. Yeah, when I connect to her energy, it's funny. It's just like she's just like, I just, I just want to be near you. I just want to love you and I want to be near you. And I know we were talking about like anxious animals and animals that want to be close to their owners. I feel very much that she was the same way. Very almost like around your feet, circling around your feet next to the leg, like being like, okay, I need to be near you. Like you were obviously the alpha dog to her. And it was important that she sort of like was with you and had that protection because there's some like anxiety and anxiousness around her as well, like almost always looking for approval. Like I'm telling you, a lot of times you get animals with the same issues during the same period of time. Um, and was there piece did you get her from a shelter? Again, I don't know where you are or anything about you, but there's some piece about a shelter and whether she was brought up from another state, because I feel like a lot of movement with her as well. So I don't know if you can validate that or not, but that's the information that I'm getting. Um, because I just feel like she was in one place and then she moved to another. And so there's this feeling of moving around with her. And for her, she's telling me, like, I don't feel very settled. Like, I don't feel like, some animals are like, I'm here. This is my kingdom. Welcome to my house. I'm not feeling that with her. With her, I feel more like, you know, I'm not sure what's happening. Is this my forever home? Am I moving again? Am I going someplace else? There's that like, oh, thank you. She said she was always next to my feet. And yes, she was a stray. Yeah. So I just see her in multiple different places. And I do feel almost like that she, again, I don't know where you live, but she came from another state or province, that she wasn't always from that area, that somehow she got there and maybe like dropped off or abandoned or some piece about that. So there's definitely a lot of anxiety with her as well. And did she have like bathroom issues? Because she's talking to me about peeing. I don't know if sometimes she would pee in the house and she's saying, like, I hope you weren't mad at me, mom. Like there's a whole thing about, oh, she was taken from a family due to neglect. Yeah, well, that
Oh,
makes perfect sense because that's like the, am I bad? And a lot of times these animals, depending upon their personality, but specifically with Ruby, they blame themselves because they think, just like kids, if a family gets divorced, which
yeah.
is always sad, and obviously it's not the kid's fault, but the kids blame themselves. And a lot of the animals, not all of them, but a lot of the animals are the same way. And with Ruby, I feel like that she was also the same, that she was like something happened and had to be my fault. And so she kind of held that guilt or self blame in herself. And so that's what sort of made her more anxious. And so she's also talking to me about really appreciating you, because she's talking to me about how you would go to the ends of the earth, Steph, to take care of her. And I know that like when you got her, she would have been really anxious. And then by the time of her crossing, she would have been a lot less. But had you not stepped in and been with her and been able to take care of her, she never would have gotten to that better state because you were the one that really made her feel a little more calm, a
Yeah.
little more settled. I mean, she didn't get 100% better because, just like if you're an abused child, sometimes it's kind of hard to shake, that type of treatment when you're younger. And the same thing for Ruby, but she did definitely get better. And there's a gratitude piece, like she's showing me yellow rose, which is my sign for gratitude. And she's very much you for taking care of her and for being there for her. And there's also some piece about, and a lot of times the animals don't like to talk about their crossing, and she doesn't want to go too much into it, but there's a piece about how she went to one doctor because she had something, and then you took her to another doctor. It feels like there was a couple different times that you took her to different medical treatments, but not the same doctor, because you were trying to find the right treatment for her. And she was very grateful that you like stuck to it and hung in there and was like, I know that you would have done anything for me, mom, and I'm grateful for that. Um,
Ah,
and you know, and she just dropped in this picture of a fireplace. I'm not sure what that's connected to. If you have a fireplace, you'd hang out by the fireplace. She just showed me this picture of the fireplace, um, and leaving you coins. She wants you to know that her message for you, like she's around you very much. There's some piece about being with you at night on your left hand side. She's making me aware, but also finding different coins. And that's just one of the signs that our loved ones like to leave. But specifically, she's talking to me about coins, and I'm also seeing quarters. So not just pennies, but also the bigger coins as well. So I hope that was helpful.
well, she just every time I get a new rug, she would wee on it. Steph said.
See, there you go.
And her mate, her friend Joanne said, "Oh my God, Steph, that's so accurate about you, about Ruby."
Thank you. Appreciate it. So yeah, no, I'm happy to. And
I've just
she's
sent
very
you.
sweet
I've
though.
just
Very sweet.
right. I've just sent you a photo
Okay.
of Estella's mom and sister. They both passed in the last 2 years. So she's a bit of a loner. Is Estella? She just wanted. She's got any advice from a mom or a sister?
Okay, so the picture you sent is the mom and the sister, not Estella.
Yeah. No, that's them
Okay.
two who've passed away in the last two
Um,
years.
yeah, no, it's interesting because as I connect to that, and you're very welcome, happy to do the reading on Ruby. She's so super sweet. Um, it's interesting when I connect to the energy of your mom and your sister. It's, and as you probably know, Bob, it's a little bit different. It's similar connecting to animals, but the energy is a little bit different. And
Yeah.
I work in a little bit of a different way, but sort of connecting to that energy, it's like they're talking to me for Estella. And again, I don't know if Estella's here. She was, because I think I did one of her animals, or she'll watch this later. But there's a piece about,
Yeah.
they want you, as I connect to the mom specifically, the mom is coming in. She's very strong. There's something about her that was very quiet. Like she wasn't like a loud, boisterous type of person, but there's a
That's
lot of
true.
strength to her. Like a lot, like she's like been like, I just feel like she's been through a lot. Again, I don't know if there's multiple moves with her as well, as I'm feeling. But I just feel like there's a lot of different things, and like traveling with the kids, not like luxury travel, but like walking, dragging the kids, taking the kids places. There's some piece about that as well. And I feel very much like that she had been through a lot, your mom, and really tried as much as she could to be there for the kids. And so what she's coming through now and talking about is that she really wants you to be strong, as difficult as this is. Because clearly, like if you lose a bunch of people at the same time, it's like normally one would feel, lost and alone, and that makes a lot of sense. But your mom is really coming in and talking about being strong. And she's also, I don't know if she's a religious person, but I feel like she just came in with a rosary, praying the rosary, some piece about that, or like really not necessarily turning to God or your higher power, whatever it is that you connect with. There's some piece about leaning on up above and your angels. She's also talking to me about the angels, like Archangel Michael, some piece about you being very connected to the angels as well. And I don't know if you know what that connection is, but I feel very
Yeah.
much like you have a lot of angels around you as well. But the mom is really coming in and saying, connect to those, your higher power, your spiritual connections, because that's what's going to help get you through this time. Because clearly when there's so much loss, it is hard to move on. And especially with, the energy of the world, I'm sure, Bob, you feel the same way. It's like the energy in the world now is so harsh and heavy, and there's just,
Yes.
I don't even watch the news anymore.
No.
There's too much stuff going on. But all that energy, whether you watch the news or not, is kind of dumped onto us energetically, and we all feel it. And so that's what makes everybody feel heavy and sort of yucky, maybe a little bit depressed. That is the energetic piece of what's going on in the world now. And so, Estella, for you to add the loss of your mom and your sister, for you, like, it would make sense that you would be, really having a difficult time and struggling. The piece with your sister, it's interesting because what she was just talking to me about, and I'm just trying to get back to her photo. It's like she's talking to me about being your number one cheerleader and really cheering you on from the other side. And I feel like she would have done that from this side of life as well. Because she's saying, like, because it feels like there's some big project or something that you've been working on and trying to get going. But I almost feel like there's been a lack of like belief in yourself to really get that project going and really moving forward in the right direction. But your sister's like, you can do this. Like, I am here. I'm supporting you. She's almost like giving you a little kick in the butt. So even though you have sort of like the grief package that you're dealing with and the energy of the world and all that stuff, your sister really wants to come forward and support you and be there for you and like push you forward on the project that you're supposed to be working on. And again, she's showing me writing. So I don't know if it was like writing a book or creating some type of a manual, some piece like that. She just made me aware of that as well. What else was she talking about? She was showing me flowers, and I don't know if it was like an orchid or gladiola, but it almost feels like a tall, I'm not a floral expert, but it feels like a tall flower with the flowers sort of all around it. And there's some piece, and I don't know if you would recognize that. I know, I guess you're not on here, and you can maybe watch this later, but that's somehow connected to the both of them. And whether this would have been at their service, a flower that they had in their garden that they really liked, there's some piece about, again, this tall flower with the flowers sort of on either side. And it feels like, again, like a tall orchid, gladiola, something like that, that would be very significant to the both of them, is what they're telling me. And it's interesting, they just dropped in those little butterscotch candies. Now, again, like, and Bob knows this, like, they just give us things. We don't know why, and
Yeah,
sometimes we're not
that's
sure
true.
why. But she just showed me these little butterscotch candies, and I'm not sure how that's connected, but she just dropped that into my awareness as well. And just know that they are very much around you, surrounding you with love. And again, that archangel piece, specifically Archangel Michael, being there and supporting you to give you a lot of strength, because you do have a lot of angelic energy around you. And just know that, and they are there for you to lean on. I often do shows about angels and have angel experts on my own show, Spirit Chat. Um, our angels are always there. And if we need help, all we have to do is ask, because of free will.
Correct.
They can't just swoop in and take care of everything for us.
No,
We
they
have to
can't.
say, hey, I need some help. I'm here. Please help me. And specifically for you, Estrella, I feel like that they're like at your door waiting to help you. So I hope this was
I do,
helpful.
I do know a little bit about Estella. Mom came from the South Pacific in an island called Saint Helena. So she
Okay.
had
Never
quite
heard
a
of it.
bad time. Yeah, it's in Pacific Ocean, small island off South
Mm.
Africa.
Mm.
And
Wow.
so she, um, I think she split from her husband, so she had the children. She had to come. She came to England, and so she struggled in life,
For
basically.
sure, yeah, and I saw her, like, kind of dragging the kids with her, whether they were had to walk a long distance, or, like, maybe they didn't have a car. There was some piece that she's showing me her with the kids and sort of not dragging them, but like, "Okay, kids, let's go. We gotta walk," because I
Yeah,
feel like there's some long walk connected with that as well, that she made me aware of. So,
I'm sure
um,
she'll listen to it later, and she'll get
awesome.
back to me, and then she'll probably get back to you and tell you in person. Then,
Yeah, absolutely.
thank
Anybody
you very
that
much for the reading.
Of course, and if anybody wants to message me on
I think
Messenger
there's,
and Facebook, yeah,
somebody else sent messages. If you
yeah,
just
that's
have a
what
look on yours, or if
I
somebody sent one
am.
to, let's make sure anybody sent me out. Oh, Biba,
Yeah, let's see.
Biba. She just sent me a photo of Remus, a black cat. See if I can send it you.
Oh, okay, yeah, send it to me because yeah, I don't have that.
I don't know if you can see that or not.
Nope. You can just send it in Messenger, it'd be easier.
Yeah, I'll just try
Yeah.
and send it now. Forward.
That sounds good,
There, I've
yeah.
sent it. I've sent it to you now.
Great. We'll give it a minute. And what's the name of this kitty? Remus?
Remus.
Oh,
Remus. Like Romanus and Remus,
oh, cute. Yeah, very cute.
who passed away 18 months ago.
Oh,
Oh,
very sweet. Yeah. Well, when I get into the energy of Remus, it's very interesting because there's like I feel a very high energy. I don't know if he passed away when he was very young, but like the energy I get from him is like kind of all over the place and running around and like a young kind of cat type of energy. A little kitty that has a lot of energy. So I do feel like that he would have passed before his time. Again, I'm getting some sort of respiratory thing. I don't know if he had some type of cold or like some type of kitty pneumonia. Again, I'm not a vet, so I don't know, but I'm just feeling difficulty breathing as I connect. But he's very sweet. He's just like, I just want to be with you. I want to cuddle with you. There's very much like, you centered about him. And as we all know, cats are not always that way. Sometimes they will be with you, and sometimes they're like, I can't be bothered with you. But with Remus, there is that energy of like always looking to you to sort of be the leader and to sort of take care of things. He's also making me aware of some litter box things. So I don't know if he had trouble with the litter box or sometimes he would go outside the litter box, but he just showed me the litter box and there was some issue with that. And again, I don't know if that's connected to some urinary issues for him as well, because he's like, I don't want to be a bad boy. Like I'm trying to be a really good boy. Because he very much wanted to please you. There's some piece about that as well, that he just wanted to be a good boy and to be hugged and snuggled. Was there something about, and again, I don't know, is this person in the chat or they're going to watch this later?
they've just sent it on in my messenger, so now I've just passed it to
Oh,
you.
oh, okay. No, I was just going to ask because there's some piece about the cat getting out. So I don't know if he was like an indoor outdoor cat, but
I'm
he
sure
just
she'll
showed
get
me
back
like
to me.
almost like leaving the house. So I don't know if you let him out because he was indoor outdoor or if he escaped, because there's some piece about that as well, just getting out of the house and like you trying to chase after him or trying to bring him in. There's something about that as well. So very mischievous, as as many cats can be, but
Yeah,
specifically Remus definitely like to get into trouble. And there's some piece about hiding some of your things. I don't know if like he's showing me like a little knit object. I don't know if you made like little figurines out of knitting, or there was some like little knit objects of figurines that were around your house that he would have hidden, but he's showing me, or almost looks like a little toy that he has in his mouth and that he would have hid them in different parts of the house, for you to find later. And it's interesting, he's talking to me about now that there is something that's still hidden that when you find, oh, Remus escaped the house. Thank you. Yeah. So that's what he was showing me, because he showed
yeah,
me the door open and so, and I know some people like to
gone.
go do indoor outdoor, but yeah, he just showed me that he took off from the house. But again, getting back to these little, almost look like toys, they almost look like they're knit, out of something or fabric or cloth. Um, that he would have hid them, and he's telling me that there's something that's in the house that you haven't found yet, and that is part of his message to let you know that he's still very much around. And there's something about the smells as well, that I don't know if sometimes you're sitting there, if you can sort of you get some type of a scent, not like a gross scent, but something like a
No,
scent that might remind you. I know, well, with animals, I'm not saying any unpleasant scents, but there's some piece he's talking to me about the scent, that if you're sitting there, sometimes a scent might cross your awareness, and that's sort of him. There's some piece about the smells with him that he wanted to make you aware of, and that's sort of him, embracing you and sort of and being with you and letting you know that. And there's also an apology piece from him as well. I'm sorry, I just heard. I know you said that he escaped the house, and I said he was very mischievous, but
Yeah,
there's some
yes.
piece that, I don't know if he caused you too much undue aggravation, but he's giving me an, I'm sorry, not in a like a terrible way, like he was horrible, but more just like to let you know that he knew that he did cause you some difficulties, and that he didn't mean to. It was sort of all in good fun. He has a good heart, as they all do, believe it or not. But he was just sort of trying to have fun, like in his own way. And so he's saying, "I'm sorry if it was, if it was difficult." Yeah, because I kept feeling that he was very little when he was killed. Yeah.
So,
And I had
so
said that earlier. Yeah, because I get that energy from him. Um, but just know that he's still very much around you, again, there's that sense of the smell that I don't know what that's connected to, but just sort of be on the lookout for that, for the smelling. And it almost like if like a soft curtain would come across your face and you would feel that energy across you.
oh
That
yeah.
would be him as well. It's like, I know that might sound weird to some people that are not really familiar with the work like Bob and I are, but just nothing crazy, nothing like getting hit with a brick, but just like if you're sitting there and you're kind of in that sort of half asleep, half awake kind of the state, and you feel that energy across your face, like a soft energy, that will be him. And he's coming in and just sort of letting you know that I love you, that I love to be with you. He's talking to me about how happy he was being with you, but his energy and his rambunctiousness sort of got the best of him when he decided to take off outside the house, and then things sort of happened. So, but just know that he's still very much with you and and he's saying, I still want to be a part of the family. So there's a piece about whether it's celebrating his birthday or remembering him at holidays. He's saying, I still want to be part of the family. So just sort of be aware of that and include him on all of your celebrations. So I hope that
Thank-
helps.
I'm sure it is. I've been trying to find Mary. She sent a photo, but I can't find it anywhere. I don't know if she sent it to you or not.
Um, Maybe. What's Mary's last name? I don't think I have a Mary. I'm just looking through the
Sinclair.
chat. Okay.
No, there's not. Amanda Wilco sent Mara a messenger on Messenger on Facebook profile with a blue tick.
Okay, yeah. Amanda, Maisie.
Right.
Oh, sweet. This is Maisie. This is Amanda's kitty.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, Maisie. Oh, very sweet. No, it's interesting. I'm connecting to Maisie, and thank you for sending the photos. I appreciate it. I primarily use them for animals because if someone says, "Oh, can you read my Fluffy?" Fluffy could be an elephant or a boa constrictor. So I don't know. So the photo
Exactly.
sort of, right. So the photo helps me get out of my head a little bit
Of
and
course
not
it
have to
does.
worry. Not have to worry about what it is and just get on with the reading. But Maisie's very sweet. But when I come across her, it's like she has this energy that's like this. She's like, okay, like stand back. When I get to know you, it's okay. But if I don't know you, I'm not really sure that I'm going to let you close to me. So it feels like there's almost like a little test. There's like a gauntlet that you would have to run before she would want you to be close to her. Because so she'd be a little more wary, is what I'm feeling. And that's what she's telling me. So I do feel like it might have taken you a little bit of a while to sort of earn her trust and sort of get to that place where she would trust you. And she is also talking to me about coming from somewhere else, whether you like got her from a neighbor or you got her from a shelter. I just feel like there would have been another home that she would have been in previously. I'm just trying to track the comments here. If Maisie's mom is here, then you can put your comments in the chat. So there's some piece about her coming from another place as well. And then she's also talking to me about her food. I don't know why that came up, but she just showed me her food and she would have been very particular about what she ate. That I almost feel like you would have gone through multiple different types of wet food or dry food. Like specifically, she's showing me the wet food that she's like, no, I'm not going to eat that. I don't like that. You got to get me something else. So it's almost like there would have been not like a diva quality, but a little bit. Not like in the, "Oh, I'm so great," but just like, "Well, no, of course, like, you should do whatever I want because, like, I'm the boss of the house," you know? It's like, "How could you even question me?" So there's sort of that feeling that I'm connecting with her as well. And the change in the food she keeps showing me all over the place, all the different types of food. And she's also talking to me about the man. So I don't know if that would have been a husband or a friend or some male, a brother, somebody talks about the man coming in, and that she wouldn't have been that. It made her a little bit afraid. And there's some piece about like with I don't know if you wore work boots or something, but feeling like the boots or the heavy shoes hitting the floor and that kind of scared her.
Yeah.
She didn't really like that very much. She's sort of making me aware of that as well. And then she's also showing me flowers, specifically roses. I don't know if she would eat them because she just put them in my awareness and they look a little chewed. Some of the petals look a little bit chewed up. And that she would have nibbled on some of those sometimes, and I'm not sure if they're poisonous, honestly, but she's just making me aware that this might have been something that she would have done. And then she's also talking to me about her brother. Now, I don't know if you have her brother cat or you have another cat that she would refer to as her brother. There's some piece about them that she would have liked to be with them sometimes, but a lot of the time she was just kind of annoyed and sort of stayed away and didn't want to get involved in the fracas. I feel more she would have been a lot more of an independent cat, I guess, than that she loved you and she liked to be near her human as long as you knew like who was boss and who was in charge of the house. So she is very sweet, but again, a little prickly to get to know initially. But I know that once you did that, you two were very close. And again, a lot of gratitude from her because she's talking about that she appreciates you treating her like the queen that she was. And she was just like, and thank you. So
Oh,
hope that was helpful. Yeah,
I'm
very
sure it
sweet.
was. And you've been awarded being a psychic medium of America. Tell us
Yes,
a
I
little bit more
was.
about that.
I know. Well, I'm a member of the Best American Psychics, which is an organization here that does double testing, background checks, double blind testing. So like you can't just join; you have to basically be selected to be part of this organization, which I have been for a long time. And they have an award show that they do every year, and I was elected Psychic of the Year 2024. So I'm very grateful for that, and thank you to Best American Psychics for that. And over the summer, because I don't think I saw you since then, Ohm Times, which is a big magazine, international, and they have radio and TV. I was elected or voted, I guess, Animal Communicator of the Year. So that was also this summer.
Brilliant.
And then so I've been getting a lot of awards. I appreciate it. I appreciate the recognition. And honestly, I do this work because I want to help people, whether it's with their people or their pets. And that's why I do it to begin with, because I want to be of service. And I think that's all of our jobs while we're here. Like if the world didn't need you, you wouldn't be here anymore. So I love to help help people and sort of give them some comfort and some confirmation that our loved ones and our pets are still with us, and that they love us and we love them, and they are always going to be around us. So I'm very grateful for the support of my community, Best American Psychics, Ohm Times, for these awards. And I was surprised, honestly, when I got the notification. I was like, oh wow, that's cool. So
That
very,
is.
very
I-
grateful. Yeah.
And everybody's saying, thank you, Mara. Everything is so correct. Alison saying, what a lovely guest.
Oh,
So
thank you so
thank you,
much.
Mara. So everybody's enjoyed it. We'll have to get you back on again in a couple of months' time, because I'm
Yeah,
sure
let
there's
me
people
know.
who Stargaze said, thank you, Mara and Bob. Really interesting show.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
if
Yeah, no, no, I was
anybody
gonna
wants to
say,
find you, Mara, where can they get in touch with you?
well, the best place is my website, which is mediummari.com. It's mediummari.com. Or you can also reach me on any of the social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. So it's all under Media
Ah,
Mari. And you can send me a message. And yeah, I'd be happy to. I'd love to hear feedback about the readings that I did. If you weren't live on the show, feel free to message me. That would be awesome. And thank you, everybody, for coming. And thank you, Bob, for having me on your new show. I really appreciate it. And I would love to come back.
well, thank you. Yeah, it's always good when you come on the show. Everybody enjoys you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm grateful. I really am because I'm happy I'm doing the work I'm supposed to be doing and helping other people.
You are. You are.
Thank
It's
you.
so beautiful. Yeah, so thank you. Where can people get your book just before you go?
Oh yeah, well this is my latest book. I happen to have a copy. I don't know if you can see it. It's called Between Worlds Reflections. And
Right.
it's a co-authored book. I have about 5 chapters in here. It's different stories from different psychic mediums, all about sort of the lives we lead, and different stories about psychic and mediumship connections. You can get this on Amazon, or you can also get it on my website, mediummari.com. On my website, I also have my first book, which is called Heaven Sent, and it's also all that one is 100% stories about animals and how they have touched our heart in miraculous ways. And that's available on my website as well. And I think it's still available on Amazon. That's a couple of years old, but that's a really nice book for animal lovers. So yeah,
Oh,
it's been great, and thank you for asking about that. And just happy to be back on your show. And let me know. I'll come back on in a couple
I
months.
will do. I will do. I will do. Well, thank you again. Thank you to everybody in the chat room. Um, everybody's enjoyed it as usual. Great guests. Everybody's had a nice message from their loved ones, cats,
Yeah.
dogs, whatever. Brilliant. My guest on Friday is Katie Page. Katie has personal ties with ice traders in Colorado in UFO folklore. It was known as the Clearview Ranch. She's very good as Katie Page. I think she does her own radio show as well. She's on Friday at 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 o'clock Pacific, and 8 p.m. in the UK. I would say good night and God bless. Thank you again for coming on my show. Thank you to everybody else. Good night and God bless. Bye for now.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, everybody. Thanks
Thank
for having me.
you.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.